Good afternoon and welcome to Catching Up with the Tolberts. I'm Chelsea Whittington and I am here in beautiful Midtown Gary, Indiana with counselors Michael and Shalise Tolbert. And nothing, I'm just hanging out at the firm, got my papers out, and voila, who do I see? None other than attorneys Tolbert kicking off 2024. But in all seriousness, as we catch up, I had to lead with this because for those who subscribe to the newsletter, they may have read news of your recent accolades, but now the world knows as the Crusader has run this article about this legal duo who's kicking off with distinguished distinctions for 2024. And I'll start with you, Shalise. Congratulations on your appointment with the American Law Institute. What does that mean? It sounds real hoity-toity.
It is from what I learned today because I had orientation today.
Oh, how timely!
So it is a very more prestigious than I realized. So thank you, God.
Okay.
Where this is a group of distinguished lawmakers, not just lawyers, but judges, professors, looking at things that we in the law do, such as our restatement of torts and things of that nature that kind of make up the laws that then we follow in cases or setting precedent and things like that. So I was on that call like, oh, we're in a breakout group of 15 and 3 of them are U.S. Circuit Court judges. I was like,
love it.
am I in the right room
Are
here?
they in the right room? How lucky were they to be in the room with Shalise Tolbert of Gary, Indiana? That is awesome. So if I am understanding this correctly, Michael, Shalise, could you actually be on a team that could potentially rewrite some laws?
Absolutely. From my understanding, they have committees, and when projects come up to review things, so tort law, for instance, there's what's a restatement of torts that is kind of the basis of tort law. Tort law is when somebody's getting hurt or injured. And so if it's time to look at that, because it's been 20 years since anything's changed, but the world changes, you got to look at things and change organically with it. You may be able to join that committee and update, so to say. And I'm all like, oh, okay. Thank you very much, God.
And I think the important thing for the listeners to understand about that organization is it's the leading independent organization for really essentially filling in the gaps in the law. So the law is very gray. It's not black and white. So a lot of times judges rely on secondary sources to fill in the gaps. So the group that Shalise is now a part in is the group that drafts the gap filler laws when the judges have problems or questions and they don't know where to go. The restatement of torts, the restatement of contracts, all of these restatements are what the American Law Institute does. So if the judge has questions, he goes to the restatements and it gives that judge guidance on how to rule or how not to rule. So it's she's being very modest, but it's a very, very powerful organization because it is, first of all, it's independent, it's by invitation only, and it really changes the landscape of not only laws locally, but laws all across the world. Wow. You have people from all over the world that are part of this. So I'm extremely proud that she is a part of the Institute, and I'm just proud that, Gary is representing.
Me too.
Because we're in those rooms, and that's really what it's all about. It's about God shining light on the city of Gary and on the people of Gary to show them that, hey, we have a voice and we can do great things. So thank God for it. Congratulations, Shalise. She's awesome.
So how long is your term?
You know what? I was gonna say I don't think you come off.
Like a judge, you get appointed or something.
I would be remiss. You see all this knowledge that this gentleman has here. He's been involved in this organization for about 5 years now.
Okay, so you're a vet to this.
Well, I wouldn't quite say that, but I've been around a little bit. But,
he's very knowledgeable. I'm the new kid. I'm the Neo coming in learning. So yeah.
I was surprised because the name, I can't say because it's all confidential, but when I saw the name come up that she was, I'm like, what? Oh, okay. And I was just was real happy because I think that's a distinct. I can honestly say I don't think there's probably a law firm probably in this area, particularly in the state, where the entire firm is probably part of the institute. And I think for people that are listening and watching this, I think I'm very happy about that. Just for the city of Gary and for the state of Indiana, because we are representing the entire state of Indiana and Gary, and we're hopefully will do them proud or do everyone proud.
Oh, I'm sure.
To help out. So.
All right, counselor.
Yeah. So congratulations, Shalise.
But wait, there's more. The article goes on to mention Attorney Michael Tolbert, who has been appointed to the Litigation Council of America. Is that what that says? Oh my goodness, where are my glasses? Yes, the Litigation Council of America. I tease you, but this too. Now, are you going to go to bat with him and explain how important he is, or how are we going to do this?
Well, it's very important because it's my understanding there's a limited number of folks that get appointed to this litigation council. And I don't know that there are many from Indiana. I think there's only one other from Indiana, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah. So it is a high-profile designation.
Okay. Yeah. And I know that's your whole thing. That's this firm's thing. Litigation, litigation, litigation. So what does this mean in your sight?
Well, again, I think anytime something like this happens, we give the honor and praise to God, because without Him, we couldn't do any of this. So I never want to lose the opportunity to showcase how that happened. Mm-hmm. And it ain't my skills, it ain't our skills, it's God. Because without Him touching us, we would never, ever be able to have any of this.
I agree.
So that's the first thing. But, I think secondarily, I think, it puts Gary on the map. And what we're trying to do is to really change the way people look at lawyers, particularly not only from this area, but from Gary.
Sure.
Gary, period.
Yes.
And, you can get the best lawyers in the country, right in your own hometown, right in Gary, Indiana. And I think people need to understand that, especially when we're on the heels of Black History Month.
That's right.
I think people need to understand that when you get Black services, particularly law services or any services, restaurant, anything, you're not going backwards.
That's right.
You don't have to go backwards.
That's right.
So you got people right here that are doing some really good things, and I'm just glad that these designations give us the ability to share that so people understand what they're getting.
Well, it's my honor to be able to share with the masses and to just even go different places and travel and say, I know them. And we have, again, another opportunity to tout our city. We just ushered in a new administration, and we're excited for whatever they have in store for the city. So it's really just about all of us. I like to say, paint the corner of our world, whatever our lane is, make it shine, and then collectively it makes Gary and beyond shine. And so congratulations on these. And if you haven't gotten your copy, hurry. The stands are probably empty once they heard the Tolberts were in here. But the story also lives online, which I will share as well. Now, when you talk about the different examples being set, it just made me think back to last month, Shalise, you participated in a literacy program through your involvement with the Gary Literacy Coalition, our partnership with the Gary Community School Corporation, and there's photos of you on the pages reading to the kids. Love that. But that also made me think about the continuance of bringing people into the school, and I don't know if you saw where Dr. Michael McGee came in for, the Kappas came in for Daniel Hale Williams' birthday. Yes. He's a real live surgeon talking to the children. So it's like these types of accomplishments that you all make, and then you go into the schools and you allow the children to sit with you and hear about your careers and your knowledge, and they come from the same streets and neighborhoods that we do. Yeah. How does that make you feel?
I have always enjoyed going back to the schools and talking with the kids and students, on every level. But it always warms my heart to read to those elementary school kids. Those I had the kindergarten class that time. They're such sweethearts. Oh my goodness. But that's that's a testament to me, I think, and she's probably going to send me a text after I say this. But former Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson came to my middle school on a career day. She's gonna get me. Give me that time. But that stayed with me. That influenced me. That opened my eyes to seeing somebody that looked like me doing this.
How old were you when she came to the school?
I'm not going to do that.
I was just asking.
All I said was she was at a career day.
That's it.
And so the only black woman that I had seen that could have possibly been a lawyer was on the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I didn't know that it was real.
Yeah.
And so to do this, it really is personal to me to make sure I go back, and we both have made efforts to constantly go back, whether it's to the schools we attended or other schools where the students that look like us can see people that look like them.
Absolutely.
Achieving things from where they come from. And I think that makes a difference.
And I think this is a good opportunity to shout out Dr. Danita Johnson and Bernie Carter, our prosecutor, on their My Brother's Keeper project that I'm assisting them with. But when we go back into the schools, and I'm very biased because I'm a male, the only male in the room right now. Our black men are really, really in trouble right now. So when I go back into the schools, I'm very intentional about making sure that I touch them, because it's important that our brothers really, really understand their power.
That's right. Their
power to lead, their power to be smart. If you want to make an impact, you don't necessarily have to do it with a basketball or a football. And they need to know that. Yes. And this is coming from somebody who plays sports. Sports was a very intricate part of my life, but it wasn't my whole life. And I was able to do something else once my football days were over. Yeah. And they have to know that. Your life is not over if you decide not to play football or basketball. You can become a lawyer, you can become a surgeon. And actually, the chances and the odds of you becoming those things are greater than being LeBron James or being Kevin Durant. And they need to hear that. Yeah. They need to hear that. So that's what I get out when we go back into the schools.
So I feel a game coming on. My turn. So when I was in elementary school, 5th grade, Ernie Pyle, Red Devils. In walks to my class, Freddie Jane Park's class, Katie Hall.
Ooh wee!
Yes, she and Katie Hall were friends. Miss Katie Hall, state representative Katie Hall was a teacher turned congresswoman, and she would come back and talk to us. Yes. And when I went home to tell my mother, I remember my mother's reaction more so than the visit, because I was kind of saying it matter-of-factly. I was like, a lady came to see us today, and she makes laws. Her name is Katie Hall. My mother said, Katie Hall, she came to your class, and it's like, it's those moments that stick with you. Obviously, I didn't go into law, or Congress, well, not yet, who knows? But I know that I could be anything I wanted to be, because that's what she told us. And we're still celebrating her legacy to this day.
Yes.
And it all makes sense. It all makes sense that you speak perfect English because you had Miss Paul.
Miss Paul and May Tyler. The two of them together, I shall never break a verb. And speaking of Katie Hall and MLK, see how I'm going to parlay this? You did some free pro bono work in honor of the Martin Luther King Day holiday over there in New Mount Moriah. You just giving out information.
Well, the Northwest Indiana Volunteer Lawyers Organization, we did pro bono work, our service day every year on Martin Luther King Day, probably for the last 20 years or so.
Nice.
Is talk to a lawyer for free. So it's done all around the state of Indiana. But we here make it a purpose, a conscious decision to make sure that there's access in Gary as one of their sites.
Nice.
So we've done it at New Mount Moriah for several years in a row. We used to do it way back in the day at the Genesis Center, and it used to be at Westside, but it's always coinciding with the ecumenical service on MLK Day. So that's something that I've done, like I said, probably for the last 20 years or so. And, we offer free legal advice. It's limited.
Okay, I was to say, can you get me off today?
15-minute sessions, no criminal law. They state that in the flyer. But we help people out and give them some guidance and some resources. Yeah. So that's something, hey, it's the community that raised me.
That's right. Incredible, incredible. And now I understand congratulations are in order. It would just so happen that this article came out on a very special day, this past Friday. What was this past Friday, Michael?
It was our firm anniversary, 9 years.
9
years is still rolling.
You still putting up with him in the firm. You still putting up with her in the firm.
He made partner.
Oh, nice.
He made partner.
And I will remember and recall for clarity that the first Tolbert of Tolbert and Tolbert.
That's right.
It's
That's
him.
right.
That's what he told me. He said, that's your week.
I married him to the
Wife.
name, so it's him.
Happy wife, happy life.
There it
Here
is.
we go.
9 years. How does that make you feel, Michael? I mean, that's coming up on a decade.
Yeah, it'll be a decade. It'll be the big dime. I call it next year. And I don't get too emotional a lot, but on that day I do.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I do is because I remember all of the struggle and all the heartache that it took to open. And it took tons of resources. It took tons of money, tons of faith, because so many people were telling us that we couldn't do it and that we shouldn't do it and we shouldn't do it in Gary. So whenever I see, things happen and us in a thriving situation, I go back to that. And that's a time to reflect on it. Yes. And it's also a time to reflect on how do we get better, because no one is perfect, but we're striving to be perfect.
Yes.
And that's the day for us. Every year, I think we go out to dinner and we reflect on what can we do better? What can we implement? How can we, do things just with a little bit more excellence? So it was just great. And I just want to thank everybody. I mean, we put the post out there and everyone just shows us so much love. And it's because of all of you that we have what we have, and I just want to thank everybody for that day, for supporting us.
So I kind of saw a staff gathering with some good nourishment. And I wanted to put the side eyeballs on your post, but I was like, no, Chelsea, you are not like on the team, but I get hungry. No, but what does staff say? I mean, they too, I'm sure, share in, celebrating being a part of the team.
Yeah, they do, and we appreciate them. We show them that appreciation by doing those things, having brunch and things brought in.
That's what it was, brunch.
It was brunch.
Brunching.
Yeah, by Jay's Breakfast Club.
That's exactly right.
Nice. So, shout out to Josh.
Yeah, so we wanted to, show them our appreciation as well, because, I learned a long time ago that while people think it's the attorneys that run the office, we don't run the office. We don't make the wheels turn. We can't do what we do without them.
That's right.
So we have to show them our appreciation. And what better way on 9th anniversary or any anniversary of this office than letting them know, hey, without you, we wouldn't be getting here, after God. Obviously.
And you mentioned Jocelyn. I want to make sure I give her a shout out. You already did, but I want to do it again.
Okay.
Because she provided us food for that day and the brunch, and that's another time that I like about the anniversary, because it gives us the time to reflect on partnerships and also feeding back into our city. So I was just so happy to be able to partner with her and support her on the day that we opened. And the synergy is there, and it's biblical. Whatever you sow, you reap. So, much love to Jocelyn and Jay's Breakfast Club. So we're praying for their success, and congratulations on her new location in Indianapolis.
1021 Pennsylvania,
so
for our Indianapolis people.
There you go.
That is so awesome. Yes. I'll just wait for my big special invitation for the 10-year, whether it's like a cruise or something like that. I'll wait for it, Whittington. But no, 10 years is more than a notion, particularly just being in business in an urban area. I'll just be honest, because I'm doing it. And then being spouses, which takes me to the next topic of conversation, your podcast.
Yeah.
Married People's Business is coming back in February, the month of love.
Yes.
Michael, what is Married People's Business?
Well, Married People's Business is a podcast that we did not know that we were going to do until people kept forcing us to do it. But they encouraged us to really highlight the inner workings of our relationship and how it intertwines with business. And what we thought about when we started putting it together was using the podcast to highlight other married couples, because contrary to popular belief, Shalisa and I are not the only married people in business.
Yeah, there are quite a few.
So there are a lot of married couples that are out there in our own communities that are doing some very wonderful things. So we use the podcast to highlight them and to highlight the area and just to talk about all the great services and goods or whatever they're serving. That's the time for them to talk about it. So it's a great podcast. It's very instructional. It's educational. It's not a professor.
It's very entertaining.
Very entertaining. We have a good time. We joke. We laugh. And we just talk about all the things that couples laugh about and what they fight about sometimes. And I'm very proud of the content. And, our prayers is that it continues to grow and that we continue to get more followers.
Nice. So, Shalise, we're looking for more guests. What types of candidates are we looking for?
Well, you know what? We don't just limit it to our community. Of course, we're going to promote businesses from Northwest Indiana, from Gary. But if you tuned in, and if you haven't, go ahead, find us on YouTube and listen to us on any audio streaming service from Married People's Business. But we've interviewed people from different areas. Couples, you don't have to be married per se, but you can be married. You can be partners in life and business. You can be family members.
That's right.
Because it's all about talking about what you're doing, how you're making that business work, tips on pros, cons, and just, life.
Yeah.
And we have a good time too. I never know what to expect.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I can control what he's saying. I'm driving. I'm like, oh, where is he going with that?
I mean, we do not script it at all. We pick a topic and we say, okay, do our research, and we don't always have the same point of view. And we come in and it's like, oh, okay, this is where we're going.
Just like married couples.
We're in court.
Absolutely. It's not even court. It's just us. We're friends, so it's just a conversation. And so bringing other folks in, we get to see dynamics of other couples and put them on display and help them promote their businesses. So, that's what it's all about. So if you have a business with your life partner, your family member, siblings, cousins, your best friends, somebody you've had a relationship with, we are open to have you as guests. February marks our 3rd season.
Wow.
That was quick.
It went fast, didn't it?
Yeah, and we did the first one, I think we released it on Valentine's Day or the day before or something like that.
On Valentine's Day.
It was on
Yeah,
Valentine's
not
Day.
bad.
So we always do the first show of the season now around Valentine's Day.
Okay, yay.
So,
For love, please inbox here on Facebook or Instagram, or go to email Tolbert at
No. Married People's Business.
Married People's Business. You all have a specific box for that?
No inbox for that. Well, we have marriedpeoplesbusiness@gmail.com.
Gotcha.
If people want to email us.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Or
to
they can
follow
email
us,
me to flip it
Either way.
to get to be a guest.
Yeah.
It's probably,
Or
it's
just
probably.
Hit us up on our socials too. If you
That's
know us
right.
personally, we'll make it work. We just
All right.
appreciate you.
I love it. I can't wait for the next episode to come out. And it's a great binge watcher. Just go back and watch those back episodes. Especially, I like I always tell you, I love to do mine on a road trip. I just let them play. And I'm driving, maybe going to Indy, just cracking up like, Michael is so crazy. He is attorney, he is, but crazy too. Hilarious sense of humor. Okay, I am moving on. We are still talking about the things that you all do that impact our community, and certainly UNCF is another one of them. I proudly serve on the same leadership committee council with the two of you, and we have the mayor's breakfast coming up February 21st. Madam President, so what are we doing?
We do. So February 21st, 8:30 a.m. at the Gary Area Career Center. We will be having the return of the Mayor's Breakfast with our UNCF Northwest Indiana Leadership Council. So we are partnering with the new administration under Mayor Eddie Melton to bring the breakfast back to Gary. And it will be some delicious food for a great purpose to continue to fund scholarships for our local students, Northwest Indiana residents that are high school seniors or enrolled in college. It does not have to be in HBCU, but they do have to be a Northwest Indiana resident. and they can qualify for up to $5,000 in the scholarship. So the scholarship application will open after we have the breakfast. But yeah, if you are interested in sponsorship, you can shoot us something on the socials or email me. And tickets are, I think the individual tickets are $35. We have different levels of sponsorships for tables. So come out and support our students. They need this support. They need the financial assistance to get them not only to college, but through college.
Yes.
And I'm particularly thrilled that it's going to be held at the Gary Area Career Center in partnership also with the Gary Community School Corporation. And it's an opportunity while we will have, the catered menu. Some aspects of this will involve our culinary students, where they would either get to witness, help with the setup of a nice professional production, and hear information about scholarships.
Absolutely.
So it's like the best of both worlds.
Nice.
And then it's the opportunity to bring community members into the Gary Area Career Center, which a lot of people think it's closed, but the programs are thriving and they're actually constantly adding on different strands. And so this is a win-win-win all around. Wednesday, February 21st. Anything you want to add with that? You missed it last year. You going to join us this year?
I always get caught in the deposition, but I think I might have a that time, but I'm trying to get it moved.
Okay.
But just kudos to the council and Shalice's leadership making that a fabulous event every year. So
absolutely.
Look, I have to say that while I'm out doing community stuff, somebody got to do the work. Tolberts is always dedicated to doing the work. I appreciate him for that.
Okay. But for those who will need her legal services, she'll be here for it. Definitely. And I feel like with us opening with this news, it's always my goal to build confidence in your brand. So when people are seeking a hairstylist, well, whose hair have you done? And, things like that. It's especially important when you need legal counsel. And so these types of awards and accolades and designations that you all are earning, they are not for show on a shelf. It's evidence of the real work that you put in and the quality of the work that you put out. I just had to say that, everybody.
Well, we thank you. We thank you for highlighting our brand. I always tell Shalice one of the best things that we've ever done in this firm was to hire your services and hire your team. Because you have made things so much easier for us and has put us in such a positive light. So
I'm glad. It's easy work. So, are you interested in joining this team? I heard you're hiring.
We are hiring as God is permitting us to grow. So we are looking for associate attorneys. We're looking for paralegals and legal assistants. Nice. We are adding on every level because we thank God for allowing us to get to 9 years and move further into the 10-year, the double digits, as my partner said, the dime. So it is much blessings on us that we are allowed to expand our team.
Okay.
And I will add to that, there's always a lot of discussion about jobs that don't offer people to live above the poverty line. And I will say that every job that we offer here allows a good workable wage. You could raise a family on these jobs. So these are not like jobs that you just go in and just work them and you still got to get 2 or 3 other jobs. Wow. It's a career.
It is.
Our legal assistants get paid very well. Our associate attorneys get paid very well. I can't tell y'all how much because I don't think that would be appropriate.
I don't think so.
We're competitive.
But you're definitely
very competitive. Paralegals get paid a very good. And the important part of this is some of these jobs don't even require college degrees. So you could get a great income and not necessarily have to have a master's degree. So just come see us if you're interested in embarking upon the law.
No, you all got Amber giving me the side eye like, how much y'all? I gotta make sure I'm on par here. No, that's wonderful. They can email you. They can.
Yes, we have postings on some of the websites like Indeed and on our website. I mean, not our website, our social medias. But you can email me your resume, cover letters, stolberts@tolbertlegal.com.
Okay, I'll make sure I put the word out because as you can see and listening to this conversation, it's an amazing place to work. You get a brunch for your time here. Well, some of us get brunch.
Come on now. Come
Kidding.
on.
It's like it's just a good energy. 2024 has started off to be amazing.
Amen.
And
Absolutely.
I just receive and want to just bestow and just fill this room with that type of energy that this will continue. And as we get ready to wrap up this program, I will not tear up, but also in this issue on the front page, it's one of our dear friends, one of your colleagues. I will go back as far as to say one of our great customers at my father's gas station,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Judge Diane Boswell. There will be unveiling a portrait of her on February 1st. And I know each one of you had your own special relationship, and we are also friends with her son, Alger Boswell III, and we know what a crushing time in his life that was in losing his mother and his dad, but his mother more recently. And so this is a tribute to her life. And I don't know if you all are going to be able to make the ceremony, so I just wanted to say this is the perfect platform for you to give your sentiments. I know Alger will probably watch this later because he should be working right now. But, but I mean, who was Judge Boswell to you, Shalise?
Judge Boswell was very special and dear. She always had her way of convincing you to do something when you don't even realize that you've been convinced. But she holds a special place in my heart because she was the judge that swore me in when I started my term as the Lake County Bar Association president.
Wow.
And we had the installation dinner over at the Genesis Center, and she swore me in. That was 2016, a year after we opened the firm. And I appreciated that so much. But she was always there to offer wisdom and advice, and it was so loving and motherly that you didn't even realize when you were like, did she just tell me to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it too.
Yes. So, but I've known her my entire legal career. When I started working at Willie Harris's office, and she was the assistant deputy prosecutor, I think, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is well deserved. I won't be able to make it to the ceremony because I had another commitment before I knew about the time. But it is definitely well deserved. It's a beautiful, beautiful photograph of her. I love that photograph of her.
Wow, that's a special memory. You, Michael?
Well, I met Alger and I worked together at a previous firm. So that's how I met Judge Boswell, through Alger, because we worked together. And I can my fond memory of Judge Boswell is that she never met a stranger. Everybody that she came across, she adopted them as her own, and she adopted me as her own. So she would always encourage me to just be excellent, and just to do good in our community. And that's what she did.
Yes.
Just a magnificent lady. I believe she was a pilot. She could fly planes.
Is that why Alger's doing that now?
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, just so much stuff that she did that people don't know. She spoke so many different languages, I believe. I think she spoke, I think she was fluent in maybe Spanish or some other language, but, just an aviation expert, bilingual, just a judge, just a magnificent woman. And, her loss, was just impactful to our legal community,
Yes.
but her legacy lives on through this portrait, and it lives on through her son, Alger, who's changing minds in the Gary Community School Corporation through football, through his passion and purpose. So she's not gone. She's with us. She's living through Alger, and she's going to live through this portrait every day. So
wonderful tributes. This has been a wonderful episode. Is there anything that you all want to put a bow on this episode with? I mean, I'm just all choked up now. I'm just thinking about her smiling face.
I know.
Because
right?
even to be at the level of a judge, she was just always a common, she fit in every crowd, always had a smile, always had a kind word, a hug, and she is dearly missed, and how appropriate this portrait will be.
Yeah, well, I do have one thing to add.
Okay.
Let's close out. Someone's birthday is coming up on Saturday.
Okay.
February 3rd.
Okay.
We have a gentleman.
Forsooth.
Michael Tolbert will be having a birthday, so
Okay,
for
Michael.
those of you all who can, give him a little shout out on Saturday.
Okay. February 3rd.
February
29 or 30 years old.
29.
Just and holding.
I don't want to say 30 because I remember my 30th birthday.
Okay.
That's
a whole nother. That's a
so
podcast.
Anyway, so his birthday is February 3rd, and he's a little bit older than me.
Okay. Hey, wisdom.
And she'll kill me if we say something about my birthday and not hers.
Okay.
But Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod's
How did
birthday
I know you were going to
is
say that?
It's before mine, February 2nd, which is actually the same day as my mom's birthday.
Dr. V and
Dr. V, you know. But we'll have many times because she celebrates her birthday for a whole year.
All year.
So,
I was gonna say all month.
All year.
We'll be having a party in August.
Okay. All right. I'll be there too. And with that, I want to thank you all for catching up with the Tolberts. I've been your host, Chelsea Whittington. Happy birthday. Happy Black History Month. And just thank you for being the pillars in the community that you are. Share this video and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
You are
God
caught
bless
up
you.
with the Tolberts.